You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. Well, here we are. It's the first Monday of the last week of April. Well, there's only one Monday that comes in the last week of April, but it is Monday, the 25th. Markets are really trying to find a footing here, and things don't look good. But on good news, the dollar is going up. Or maybe that's not such good news for the world in general. Well, here to dissect it all, give you the perspective that you need to be able to invest in a market like this is our good friend, Avi Gilbert. You find Avi at ElliottWaveTrader.net. Avi, great to have you back. So when we last spoke, you were quite bullish on the market. After the past 2 days, you still feeling the love?
Well, I mean, I was bullish on the market off the lows back in February. But now the market, unfortunately, has opened the door to test the 4,000 region one more time before the next bullish rally begins. And for me, it really is going to depend on how the market handles the 4,300 to the 4,350 region on the S&P 500 over the next week.
Okay, so explain to us the significance of that number, why you're following it so closely.
Well, that's the main reason. Right now, the market has moved into a much more complex structure than I had wanted to see at this point in time. And it tells me that the 4,300 to 4,350 region is our main resistance point. If we are unable to exceed that region over the next week or so, then the market is likely going to subdivide and continue lower down towards the 4,000 region before the next major bull move begins. If we do break out over 4,350, and then, of course, go over 46.37, the high we struck a few weeks ago, then initially my target was for the next major bull move was 5,500. But the structure would be such that we may only top out at 51.75 at the end of this year, if that's the structure. If we don't get a lower low to 4,000 and instead break out over 43.50 and follow over 46.37, potentially we may only top out at 51.75 and then see another multi-month long correction.
Okay. So is there any way to get a sneak peek at this, to follow some metric, some indicator that's going to give you the idea or let you know where it's all heading?
Well, unfortunately, it really depends on how the market tests 4,300 to 4,350 over the coming week. If it tests it and holds it and we then drop lower, then likely we're going to 4,000. If we're able to exceed the 4,350, that certainly opens the door for the rally to 51.75.
Okay. And but overall, you're still bullish here. So... Right?
Overall, I am still a bull, and I believe we have much higher levels to be seen over the coming year.
All right. So, the old saying, stocks climb on a wall of worry. Is this the wall of worry we've been waiting for?
Oh, my God. I don't think we can find more worry than what we've been seeing, because everybody and their mother are now certain of a bear market and a recession. Now, mind you, I think we'll probably get a recession in 2023 as well, but I still think the market's going to see higher highs before that happens.
All right. So you think that the 2023 recession is baked in the cake?
I mean, it's probably the most telegraphed recession that we've ever seen, or as we say, the most telegraphed bear market that everybody is now expecting. So we can get a recession, but I don't think we're going to be seeing a quote unquote bear market. I don't think a bear market begins for at least a couple more years, a real bear market.
Right. All right. So we got time here. What about the other markets? What about precious metals? They've been taking it on the chin past couple of days. They weren't really behaving that well. up to Friday. What are you seeing here?
Well, interesting. Newmont, the gold miner is the one that probably gave me the best heads up to tailor back on some long positions in the near term in the metals complex. Once we went through 85, we were approaching a target that I had for a number of years. So I told my members that now's the time to expect what could be, a nice pullback. And that's exactly what we're getting. So once this pullback runs its course, I'm looking to set up another rally structure in the overall complex. But, based upon the individual charts I'm seeing, some charts are going to do better than others. We may not really see a major move in maybe silver, for example. Silver may not see a major move until the end of 2022 into early 2023. Silver has been lagging and the structure is not developed. That tells me we're about to see a massive rally. I'd like to see a rally back up to maybe about 29 or so in silver. But as long as we hold below 28, 29, you're going to see another pullback before silver is really ripe for a major rally, and that may not happen until next year.
Okay, and of course, the topic du jour, everybody's talking about it, besides the war, inflation.
Well, for me, inflation is I leave inflation and the definitions of inflation to the economists, and to explain to you how much the definition really matters to my positioning when it comes to the market. The economists told us that we were in a recession during the 1,500-point rally off the March 2020 lows. So, economists can come up with it, whatever definition they want. I don't think it's really going to help anybody as to how they trade the overall market and look for whether or not the market's going to rally or not. The market is its own world, and economists, unfortunately, don't have the tools to apply to determine where the market's going to go, even though their job is to look at the economy. But the economy and the market are two different things.
Okay, so you think they're going to contain inflation, the Fed, or are we going to have this for quite some time to come?
Don't just survive, thrive. The Financial Survival Network.
Torque Resources is an exploration company establishing a portfolio of premier copper-gold early-stage projects in Chile. Torque's management and technical teams have a strong track record of raising capital, discovery, and monetization of exploration successes. The company's Margarita copper-gold project is located within the prolific coastal Cordillera Belt in Chile, which hosts some of the world's largest and most profitable copper mines. The Margarita project possesses excellent discovery potential for a major copper discovery due to the strength of the alteration system, large-scale magnetic targets, and the presence of copper oxide mineralization. Drilling is anticipated to begin in Q3 of this year. Torque trades in Canada under TORQ and on the OTC under TRBMF. To learn more, go to torqueresources.com. That's torqueresources.com.
This is the Financial Survival Network, the information you need to thrive now more than ever.
I don't believe the Fed is anywhere near as powerful as everybody believes. So, whatever the Fed does, the Fed does. I'm not a big fan of the Fed. I'm rather neutral when it comes to the Fed. Ultimately, once we enter a major bear market a few years from now, I think the Fed's going to really be seen as being as powerless as what I really believe they are.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's an interesting take on things. I mean, I tend to think there's a lot of illusion taking place as far as the Fed's concerned, and a lot of it isn't reality. But let's look at oil prices. They've been crazy lately. Now they've come back down under 100. What are you seeing there?
Well, I track the USO for my clients, and I'm looking for a rally over the next couple of months, minimally to 97 on the USO, which is approximately 30% higher from here.
Mm-hmm. 30% higher, and then we're going to hit the wall, and the price going to come crashing back down, or what?
No, I don't think we're going to hit a wall. I mean, I think we'll get to at least 97. And if we get some of those extensions that we normally see in oil, we may get as high as 103. But then we'll see another multi-month pullback again. And then just the normal cycle. I think ultimately we'll even go higher than that.
All right. Have you been watching the action in nat gas?
No, I don't track nat gas. There's only so much I can handle myself. I have a whole team that handles the things that I don't handle.
Understood. Well, yeah, there's only so many markets one human being can follow, right? But
exactly.
But right now it's been going crazy. Now it's pulled back a couple of bucks. It was up over $8 per million BTU. Crazy things happening in that one. What other markets you're following that we need to know about?
The dollar, I'm looking for a major high to be struck soon on the dollar, with potential to drop all the way back into the upper 80s thereafter. I mean, it should take us a good year or two until that completes, but I'm looking for a major topping in the dollar, and then could be as long as a 12 to 18 month process until we get back down to maybe the upper 80s or so.
All right. That's interesting. So upper 80s, but right now the dollar, dollar seems to be on fire now, huh?
Yeah. But like I said, I'm expecting this to top out shortly.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, nobody wants a strong dollar, it seems, right?
Well, traditionally, strong dollar has meant deflation based upon what how the economists view markets. So, usually inflation means the declining dollar, not a rallying dollar. But others may disagree, and they may say, well, that's the dollar relative to other baskets. And all I know is what the Dixie is doing, and I think it's going to be topping out soon.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, the dollar's the best looking dirty shirt in the laundry, right?
Exactly.
All right. So obviously you're following the war closely as far as, what effect it's going to have on the global economy. Everything's connected now. What's your take on it?
Well, again, I view the economy and the market as being separate entities. And, when I tell people that the market bottomed in February on the exact day that Russia invaded Ukraine and began a 10% rally, most people look at me like I had two heads. That's impossible. Well, that's exactly what happened. So, for me, what's going on in Ukraine and what's going on in Russia is just a very sad human experience.
Yeah,
and,
right.
My heart goes out to the Ukrainians. But at the same time, I really don't see that as having any impact upon the way I look at the market.
Okay. As far as what's happening in China with lockdowns and supply chain issues and all that,
I'll say the same thing we said back in March of 2020. We entered a 1,000 plus point rally off the March 2020 low, just as we were hitting major economic shutdowns countrywide here in the U.S. We were hitting record unemployment levels. The economists had us in a recession, and people were freaking out all over the country because of the highest death rates being reported. Yet the market rallied over 1,000 points during that period in almost a straight line fashion on the way up. Again, I don't view it as being as impactful in my analysis as most others would consider.
Okay. So shorter term then, as far as it's a short-term disruption?
For me, it really centers around how the market now handles the 4,300 to 4,350 region. And that's really going to tell me everything I need to know.
Okay, I'll buy it. All right. Well, Avi, it's always interesting and enlightening to speak with you. And I guess the best place to find you, your site again?
Yep, ElliottWaveTrader.net. And anybody that wants to learn what we do, we teach it on a daily basis.
All right, excellent. And there's a link in the show notes to this interview on our website, Financial Survival Network. kerrylutz.com. While you're there, please sign up for a free newsletter. Avi, appreciate you coming on. Oh, if you got a question for Avi, you can always shoot me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. We'll get you an answer. Avi, thanks again, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.